My siblings 36 male and 32 female want to come into family business after I expanded it. My dad 65 male is a heavy diesel mechanic and has run a small workshop his whole life. I 29 male have always been interested in his work since I was a kid and would always help him out on the weekends. I went to university and studied mechanical engineering and commerce but struggled and dropped out and traveled the world for a year. My siblings 36 male and 32 female are both in investment banking and are successful in their careers. Since I was 23 I have worked with my dad as a mechanic and slowly taken over his workshop. When I started he had 2 part-time mechanics and 1 car in 2017. I have bought in several new strategies such as focusing on commercial verticals only, off-hours servicing etc. and we have grown to 35 employees and 15 cars. We went from $250,000 in revenue to just shy of $7 million this financial year. My dad only works in the workshop while I'm more 20/80ths workshop to office split. Our business has grown tremendously in the last few years. A few weeks ago at my dad's 65th birthday dinner and he talked about the numbers of the business and everyone was shocked. No one in the family has ever visited our workshop or asked about it. Since then he has been thinking about the succession plan after my siblings have been asking about it. He proposed the following idea to me. I get 40% of the business, they get 30% and 30%. My sister would get a manager position as she is looking to leave the investment banking world to start a family and my brother would get the same as well if he wants it. I noted everything he said and just asked for some time to think. They started proposing some of the most insane ideas without any context of the business. I'm seriously annoyed. My dad has run this for 32 years but only since I joined did we expand. I admit I did use my dad's network, reputation, skill, and initial workshop to get a head start but it was my idea to expand, get a bigger workshop and implement risky ideas. I don't think my siblings who have never even asked about the business should get cushy high-paying jobs for doing nothing. If we wanted a $200,000 a year manager I would get one with industry experience. I have spoken to him briefly but he was shocked by my reaction and said it was his dream to have all his siblings work in the business but my brother and sister have never even picked up a spanner before in their lives. I have been hanging around since I was 12 he always said it would be mine. I don't want to have to answer to a board of my siblings who I get the vibe they think they're smarter than me just because they finished university. I built this business with just my dad and want to keep building it with him without my siblings. I can see it from their point of view as this is a family business my dad started and my dad wants to make it more of an effort to include them but I feel they only want to be included because we are now successful. I am being accused of being greedy and entitled by my family. I think this is ridiculous and the business is mine after spending the last 6 years building it. I would love some outside perspective on this situation. Some quick points. I can't really sell my shares or this business. We are a service business where we get paid for the work we have done and we have assets but it's like used, dirty utes and tools, worth $100,000 new but nothing on the second market. We had a family business lawyer meeting last night and I don't know what is happening. My sister and brother had been lobbying my dad about the direction and strategy of the company before this for weeks. They feel it would be in better hands with my sister being CEO, my brother being CFO and me as COO/glorified operations manager and unfortunately, my dad agrees with them. During the session, I felt incredibly patronized. They laid out this 5-year plan and how the company would grow to be this huge entity we would own equal amounts in. They didn't talk to anyone in the actual business about this plan or even our customers. They wanted to make things standard but the reason our customers love us is that we are flexible and accommodating. I asked a few questions to see how set my dad was in this plan and realized he was really excited. I tried to argue the current business was 50-50 my dad's and me, therefore, it should be split 66%, 17%, and 17%. Their huge salaries would be better off hiring mechanics to grow. I was told everyone is replaceable by my sister. This crushed me because I don't think that's true. I have so much tacit knowledge and the 27 mechanics are loyal to me. I secured our biggest 10 customers only in the last 15 months because I have this reputation as the mechanic who went to uni and worked on the tools. I know I leverage this in the bidding process over other companies. This isn't like a public company, everything in this industry is relationships. I've been reading The Art of War this last month and I've decided I'm not going to voice any more concerns. I'm going to go along with the plan and let my emotions mellow out and wait till I can think of some options. Update 10 days later. My sister and brother came to the workshop to get on board last week. They both wore pastel polos to a mechanic shop and refused to shake anyone's hands because our hands were covered in grease. My dad was so excited to show them around and let's just say none of the dudes was too impressed. I went to my mom and dad's after to talk. I expressed some thoughts and feelings, but they were so dismissive. I tried to pitch some of the ideas, slower start to joining the business, but they just felt everything would work out. I just lost it and told my dad he was a bad mechanic and I would never hire him. He is sloppy and inefficient. I asked him why is he never on the road, why does he only work on ad hoc random issues and never works on routine repairs or servicing on our biggest clients. He is slow, he doesn't know how to use the latest tools and technology, he doesn't even know how to update the iPad checklist forms that I created at the end of the servicing, and he sometimes misses checks. I partner the first-year apprentices with him because he doesn't clean up the tools after himself properly. He doesn't wipe them down and places them back in their allocated spot for the next person, they have to do it for him. I told them, I don't want to work in a family business. I have always felt like the black sheep of the family. My older siblings were close, but I felt excluded. They constantly lectured me about how I should go back and finish my degree rather than waste my life in the workshop working a dead-end job, and now after they have seen the success of this dead-end job they want to come in. After that talk I knew what I needed to do. I went to one of our biggest clients and my mentor, the CEO 55 male of a logistic company, and told him the story. He offered me a $250,000 loan over 3 years to start my own shop. I signed the lease at our old workshop and spent all my savings on 4 cheap utes and close to $45,000 in tools. I have already confirmed with our 8 biggest customers to move to my new workshop, which is close to 65% of our total revenue. I have confirmed with 7 of our best mechanics they will move to my shop, and I'll welcome over any of the other boys once the news breaks. I just copied our previous employment contracts off a template so there is no conflict. I know this is going to blow up the family and will decimate the old business. I did try talking to my sister about the changes, but she just treated me as the little kid that got lucky. My dad was delusional and too excited to see all his kids working in the same business. To me it was never about money or greed. During my time my title was boss son. I just loved leading a team of solid boys working outside fixing stuff up that broke with my pops. I know the culture and business I built were gone, so I don't feel I'm destroying anything, but I feel guilty. Ex 29 female who dumped me 26 male because she thought I cheated now wants to get back in touch. So right from the start, she's not entirely at fault here. When I was younger, 19, I cheated in one of my relationships. The circumstances don't matter, it could have been handled differently, I cheated and that's that. Fast forward, when I was 23 I met Alice. Alice was an absolute blast. I never really connected to another person like I did with her. We got serious from the second time we saw each other and started dating exclusively straight away. Even though it had been a while since my one and only time of cheating, I still felt like that was something you should disclose to anyone you're getting serious with, so I told her about it. She said she wanted to know more in depth about the situation, but ultimately it didn't matter for her because in her words I was a completely different person now. Here's where the trouble starts. Her friends, they were all nice with me in the beginning, but as relationship kept going on, nearing the 1-year mark they grew kind of standoffish with me. I didn't really feel welcome or like I was part of the group if Alice and me went out with them somewhere. Then all of a sudden that changed. They were all welcoming to me, really friendly, hanging out and physically affectionate. I'm not that way myself, but I like it when others are that way with me. It shows they care, I guess. One day Alice's best friend Samantha asks me to hang out for a bit. Samantha was someone who was always friendly with me even during the short period when the others weren't. At one point I even helped her get through her ex cheating on her due to her knowing my past and wanting some different perspective on the matter. Anyway, I'm out with Samantha in the local park just talking and waiting patiently to tell me what's wrong. Instead she plants a kiss on me and it's pretty intense. She grabbed me by the face and just tried to shove her tongue in my mouth. I pushed her off almost instantly. She starts saying she's sorry, that she didn't mean this to happen, etc. and so on, and quickly excuses herself and leaves. Meanwhile I'm completely at a loss what happened, and I don't call Alice straight away. I'm still kind of in shock. When I do end up calling Alice, I find out Samantha already called her and told her what happened, except not really. According to Samantha, I am the one who kissed her first and started making out before she put a stop to things. Cue a lot of drama, a lot of name calling, a lot of begging on my part to be believed, but it didn't work. Alice and me were history. None of the people from her group of friends are even answering my calls or messages. I just wanted to know why this all happened. I don't get that. I don't get answers or closures. My girlfriend didn't believe me. She didn't even break up with me in person, it was over a phone call. So I sunk into a depression, no surprise. Couple of friends stuck by me helped me get through, but for more than 2 years now I have avoided any chance to meet new people, or if someone expressed an interest in me I would just ignore it. I got an email yesterday from Alice, it's still here sitting on my screen. It starts off with a million apologies because she found out the truth about what really happened on recently. The whole thing with Samantha was premeditated. The whole friend group was in on it. They didn't like that Alice and I were getting serious, that we were talking about moving in together after being together for less than a year. Samantha decided to be the one to kiss me because apparently I seemingly clicked the best with her out of all of them and the cheating thing would be most believable that way. The others backed up her stories about how close we were at the group meetups. Alice has only found out about this a week ago from one of the people who had a falling out with the rest of the group, and on their way out they wanted to blow up the whole thing with every dirty little secret they had. She tells me she hasn't dated anyone since we broke up. She didn't have the will to try again after our relationship. She just studied and worked and hung out with her friends. After she found out the truth, she says she cried for days because she really did love me even after the breakup, because a part of her couldn't believe the cheating happened. She's begging me get together with her, even if only for just some closure, just for one date where she can apologize in person. I haven't responded yet, because I don't know what to say. For a year or more after the breakup, I dreamed of this happening, her finding out the truth, us coming back together better than ever. But now there's nothing. My heart didn't skip a beat. I don't feel anxiety or anticipation of any sort that might happen due to meeting her. To put it short, I don't know what to do. Do I agree to her request about meeting up? And if so, do I end up giving us two a go again? I'm not sure if I could. I'm not sure if I feel anything anymore for her. My best friend says that might be me just preemptively protecting myself from more hurt, but I don't know. Update 3 months later. I decided to give my ex-girlfriend that one meetup for her sake. I honestly wasn't expecting to gain anything myself from this, but I still remembered how much I cared for her, so I figured I could do this one thing and we could both move on with our lives. Meeting her in person though, that was a whole different thing. I don't know how to describe this feeling, but it was quite like anticipation, like when you're just expecting something to happen, and don't know if it's good or bad. Now that I look back on it, I know I was hoping for good. We talked a great deal when we met and ended up staying out for hours. A great deal of it was her sincerely apologizing for not believing me and breaking up with me over the phone without even giving me a chance, but in truth, I couldn't blame her and told her as much, since these were all people she grew up with. She didn't really have a reason to not believe them, since they never did this sort of thing before. This was followed by some shit talking of her former friends that was kind of nice, and we ended up having a few laughs over it, even though I could tell she was sad by what happened. She's only got 2 friends now, an older woman from her workplace and a girl her age from a hobby workshop. They seem to be good for her from what she's saying, but she admits that occasionally she misses what she had with her previous friends, if not the people themselves. I really did end up feeling better from that one talk, and when the time came to go our separate ways, she asked me if I would be open to talking with her more in the future. Alice was upfront about her hoping that there might still be something between us in the future, but she wasn't pushy about it. Anyway, told her I wouldn't know, but also told her to just talk when she feels like it and I might or might not reply. Exchanged numbers and that was it for the day. Without dragging this out any further, we started dating again. Talking ended up bringing back how I used to feel about her, but I was holding back for a lot of the time and she was very patient with me. Never tried to push too much, never tried to just pick up from where we ended. It's basically dating like we've never dated with each other in some way. I guess it's got that good part of where you're getting to know someone and actually enjoying doing so. Just a few days back was when, after a night out, she invited me to her place. I knew what this was about obviously, but I wasn't 100% sure. I guess I was just being cautious on some level. Alice seemed to sense it and let me off with some words of how I might need some rest for work in the morning. I can't really tell you how that made me feel exactly, but it just shows me she cared. She cares, and I went up with her, and it was something I really missed. It's not just 2 people together. It's her and me together. So yeah, we're dating and we're taking it a bit slowly, but I'm happy and she's happy and things are good. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for daily Reddit stories. All rights belong to the original author. This video is for narration and entertainment purposes only.